Hey guys, today I'm going to be showing you guys an overview of the custom enchantments and how to plan them out and add some more to your own world. So without further ado, I'm just going to /reload and get into the fun and action. So at the start of this data pack, you guys get a custom crafter, a freeze 1 book, and a ghost sword 1 book, and a phaser. Now these are armor specific, meaning that something that's meant for a sword won't go on a helmet, obviously. So I'm just going to place down our custom crafter, grab our sword. I'm going to put them inside another star, and freeze 1 is the sword specific enchantment. Alright, so I'm going to show you guys what it can do. It obviously freezes mobs. So to test, we shall use zombie spawn X / game mode survival. I'm going to grab a bunch of these things and we're going to freeze them. Boom. They can't move. Can't move. Can't move. Get out of here. You just have to hold shift and keep walking, and this will freeze them. Get out of here, zombies. Boom. And so they can still attack, but they're just frozen in place. Alright, so I can show you guys our second custom enchantment, which is Ghost Sword 1. We're gonna go ahead and you have to stand on top of the dropper of the custom crafter, and we can put our Ghost Sword on. Just like that. Now this is perfect. There's a drowned. So I'm going to hit the drowned. He gets glowing and he gets withered. And this wither is basically there for like a long time, like 30 seconds now. Obviously, you can tweak this according to the levels and stuff. There's one final one that I'm going to show you guys. And this is the one that took me basically the most amount of time. So I'm going to grab that. Grab this. And grab that. And that is phaser. So, yep, you can see that we can phase through blocks and sort of fast travel. So you can basically randomly as we sprint, not really randomly, but after a set amount of blocks, if we sprint, we can get into spectator mode. So I just want to keep on sprinting, you know. Yep, and I can literally just phase through. And, well, it didn't work. It happens for a very short time, and if you get it stuck in a block, then you die. So, yeah, those are the 3 custom enchantments. Now, let's get into the technical aspects. We are in our project folder, and I'm using Atom. This is what I use to code my data packs. I have, like, specific add-ons, and I can talk to you guys about setting that up later. But, basically, I'm going to give you guys an overview of basically all the enchants. So, we're going to start with a freeze enchant, and I'm going to start explaining what happens. So this is an execute command that basically checks if there's a dropper with the custom crafter stuff, and it checks if for our recipe, which is a netherite sword, nether star, and our enchanted book with the custom name, and it checks if it's a custom enchantment 1B so that other people can't just rename it somehow and get it. And so it runs the function add the enchant to add the enchants. So you can just hit add enchants and then freeze 1.mc function. So what this does is basically it adds a freeze tag to the sword. This will be used later when we have to check for it to apply the freeze effect. And it also adds a lure of freeze 1 on the sword. And it's Dark Lock 1 stuff. And then it just removes the Nether Star and the enchanted book from the slot. Now we're going to go into the enchant effects folder. So this folder is, this file is where it checks if you've been sneaking for a certain amount of time and walking. And it checks if you're holding the sword. Then it checks in a radius, and it will give slowness and jump boost to 50, which makes sure that the entities can't jump. And then it also kind of runs a snowball particle to show that they're frozen. And then it resets the scoreboard. Now let's go into the phaser enchant. So this one was the one that took me the most amount of time to code up and think of. So this is adding the phaser, which is pretty much the same. Instead of adding .tag freeze, we add .tag phaser to check for it. And we add phaser in the lore, which is how we get the custom enchantments to display on the sword or helmet. And yeah. And then obviously in enchant effects, we make game mode we get the make the people as game mode spectator. Then we schedule a function which basically gets you back to survival mode in 4 seconds, and it resets the scoreboard. Now we're going to go into the ghost sword function, which again for the dropper, I think I can already have explained it enough. Effects does the same thing. It just, sorry, not effects. I mean, add enchants does like the same thing. It just modifies the value and it sort of adds tag ghost, adds the lore of Ghost Sword 1. And of course, you can add more levels to these enchantments. You can make Ghost Sword 2, Ghost Sword 3, etc. Yeah. And then the enchant effects is it gives them wither if you're holding a sword and they're in the radius of this and you've hurt them. And also, it's important that you have actually attacked and they're just not hurt by something else. That's why I'm testing for attack damage. So we're going to finally go into the load.mc function where you give all the stuff and then you add a scoreboard for the sneaking, for the damage dealing, and the sprinting, so you can do the phaser. And yeah, I just run these all through the main function, and that's essentially how it works. If we can get 5 likes, then I will definitely release this data pack. Thanks for watching. Goodbye, guys.